Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is March 16, 2019. This is the home of the 2-minute price prediction, as well as giving you all the news according to the charts. Want to start off with this article that we've seen posted to the internet yesterday from the Investor Place. It's talking about 5 stocks that hedge funds love. Okay, the 5 stocks are Facebook, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Alibaba. And the question is, as we go throughout this article, I want you all to think about, if these hedge funds enjoy these 5 stocks, then why will they be giving us this information at such a late date after we've seen all 5 of these stocks move higher to the upside? Okay, that's the question you all need to ask yourself, because I'm already under the impression that this article was being posted to the internet only to ensue some more buyings, so that the market participants can continue to offload their particular shares that they bought at lower prices. Okay, because that's one of the things that we do here as an organization. We focus on the articles that we see, and we try to dig a little bit deeper into understanding why are they posting this article to the internet. It only could be for 2 reasons. The first one, they trying to persuade people to buy, or the other one would be they're trying to persuade people to sell. So when we look at these articles, we pay attention to the price charts to see what exactly is going on in the market, because that is the lifeblood of the industry, and it's listed on the price chart. Okay, so as we go throughout this article, keep in mind those things that was just said. If this is your first time come to our YouTube channel, make sure that you all go ahead and continue to like and share this video content, because we're definitely here giving you all the news according to the charts. We don't focus on a lot of the fundamentals of the company. We don't focus on articles that people are placing, or even videos about certain stocks, because the true information is already posted on the price chart. And if you can understand it, you can also profit from the market moves. As well, we do have a website, HueFinancial.com. Go ahead and check that website out as well if you're interested in getting more of this type of analysis that is not available anywhere else. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into this article. It was written by Luke Lango, talking about 5 stocks that hedge funds love. They state in this article that they did a lot of buying in late 2018. If you're an average stock watcher, definitely you've seen the financial markets take a hit in the ending half of 2018. To where a lot of the stocks indices have been trading in a correction, what so many people call correction, and in bear market territory. That occurred at 2018. And we'll go ahead and see this article right here, that from one particular institution, City Research. Okay, so this is very specific. This is not as a whole. This article is really grabbing this information from this one particular company, City Research. So just take that into account as well as we continue to go forward. So apparently from City Research, there are 50 hedge funds that they track and have data on, and showing how many hedge fund managers that they watch has turned into buyers on tech stocks in late 2018, and substantially went ahead and bought a lot of these tech stocks in bulk when it's relatively cheap. The question is, will this rally in tech stocks continue? Emphatically, Luke goes ahead and types in yes. So he is very, very bullish in the market continuing to move to the upside. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this article. I just wanted to show you some of the things that tries to insinuate that they're really trying to get more participants into buying these 5 tech stocks. Okay, so now the first one is Facebook. Okay, now according to this particular institution, this company City Research, they grew, talking about the hedge funds, grew bullish on Facebook during that 2018 sell-off, meaning that they went ahead and started buying up this particular stock. Now in the 3rd quarter of 2018, by their research, only 6 hedge funds own Facebook stock, and then in the 4th quarter of 2018, that number grew to 15, making it the most owned hedge fund stock on City's list. So considering that these 5 tech stocks are behemoths in the tech industry, I find it hard to distinguish or to see why only 1/3 of City's hedge funds that they track only 6 of them have Facebook stock. And then it increases to 15. So what that means is that these particular technology companies in 2018 is when these hedge funds, the ones who came on later, has already sold out their stock in Facebook as it was going higher in price. And when you have a drop in the market, that's when they come in and start buying up again. So that's what we're seeing here in the market. It's not that they love these stocks. They just understand that the valuation of these particular companies are relatively cheap and that they're going to buy it up so that they can sell it at higher prices later, which has been ongoing way before this article has been posted to the internet. The gains have already been realized. So consider that as we continue to go on. Facebook is up more than 30% year to date. Now, let's go ahead and look at Microsoft. Okay. Microsoft. In the fourth quarter of 2018, it was the second most owned hedge fund stock on Citi's list, with 14 hedge funds owning it. Interestingly enough, hedge funds actually lessened exposure to Microsoft stock during the late 2018 sell-off, meaning that they sold their stocks in Microsoft. In the third quarter of 2018, a whopping 21 hedge funds own Microsoft stock. So, even in Microsoft, these companies, these hedge fund managers were selling Microsoft as it was rising up higher in price. Microsoft, according to Luke, should remain in an uptrend. We'll talk about that once we look at this particular chart for Microsoft. Google. Only 8 hedge funds on Citi's list own Google. In the fourth quarter of 2018, that number rose to 13. Now, again, these hedge funds, the ones that supposedly did not own these tech stocks, you got to ask yourself the question, why didn't it have at least a small exposure to these stocks as we were seeing the market moving to the upside? Okay, one of the things it doesn't tell you is that it don't tell you whether or not these hedge funds are in short positions or even in buy positions. Google stock is up 15% year to date, and Luke is expecting that this rally will continue as well. Amazon. Heading to the sell-off, only 8 hedge funds on Citi's list own Amazon stock. By the end of 2018, 12 hedge funds, so an increase of 4 hedge funds on their list, went ahead and bought some of this stock. Alibaba. The 5th most commonly owned stock among the world's largest hedge fund. In the fourth quarter of 2018, of the 50 hedge funds Citi tracks, 9 of them own Alibaba stock in 2018. Interestingly, that's up only one fund from the third quarter of 2018, despite Baba stock dropping further in the fourth quarter. Excuse me. So, as of this writing, this is where the disclaimer comes in at. Luke is long Facebook, Google, and Amazon. So he's expecting these stocks, those 3 stocks especially, to continue to move to the upside. He said Facebook, Google, and Amazon. And he gives you a lot of definitive directional moves that he's anticipating those stocks to go. Amazon. This profit growth will show up in the numbers this year. When it does, investors will rush back into Amazon stock and the stock will head higher. So he's expecting Amazon to move higher. He said Google as well. A combination that will keep Google stock on a winning trajectory for the foreseeable future. This rally will continue. So he is already biased regarding that stock as well. And then Facebook. As it does, estimates will move higher, the multiple will expand, and Facebook stock will rise. So he is very bullish on those 3 stocks. And we need to see if it correlates over to the price chart, which we're going to do now. Not going to waste too much of your time. We're looking at Facebook right now, okay? And the market is showing us on a monthly time frame that this particular stock is still seeing $170 as resistance. But one of the best things that we've seen over the last couple of months in Amazon is this very wide spread bar from January. Okay, that continues to insinuate that the strength is still being maintained for a long-term move to the upside. But the only problem is $170. Okay, Facebook has to break above $170 in order for us to really see that continuation in bullishness and movement to the upside. So right now the market is getting some minor weakness coming to the space, which can be expected. But as long as we see this particular stock trade above this ascension line, which is drawn on our chart, then we're definitely expecting Facebook to continue to move to the upside. It will endorse some stockpile coming to the market, $170, $180. And then again, we might need to reevaluate how high Facebook stock can go. Okay, so considering that this article is coming out towards the midpoint in March of 2019, the gains in this particular space, when the supposedly the hedge funds managers has went ahead and bought these stocks, have already seen a very good percentage gains in the market. So you might get a little bit more out of these 5 stocks moving to the upside. That is one of the main reasons why we're here as an organization, to show you that the market in these particular stocks may not move that high at all. We already stated that for Facebook, $170 is resistance. It might hit up here to 180, maybe a little higher if the overall market continues to show us a lot of strength. But the last week here in Facebook stock, it still shows us that a lot of weakness is still here in this space. Okay, so that's why I want to pinpoint to you all that this ascension line is crucial for Facebook to trade above in order to maintain the bullishness that it's seen since the ending half of 2018. Okay, so right now the market in Facebook is just consolidating right between 160 and $172. We did get some weakness the last 2 weeks, so we might actually eclipse $160 next week, and then after that we will evaluate to see whether or not the bullishness is still in this particular stock. But when you look at it from a monthly perspective, Facebook stock is still pretty good. I just want to be a little bit cautious that we are seeing some sellers coming in at $170, $172 price. So interestingly, that would insinuate that those hedge fund managers from this article are in fact selling their cheap stocks that they bought in 2018, ending half of 2018, right up there at $170. So keep that in mind as we trade forward in the month of March going into April. Now, Microsoft is a very, very strong stock. The market for this particular stock continues to show us its bullishness. It did not necessarily react as negatively as some of the stocks in the ending of 2018, which is a very positive thing. The market currently on the monthly time frame is still reflecting all-time highs. The market for Microsoft did make all-time highs this month so far at $117.25 per share. Very positive to see that. Looking here on the weekly time frame, just last week is when this particular stock went ahead and made all-time highs in the space. And we are seeing some inclinations that some sellers are coming in on the weekly time frame. Daily time frame definitely insinuates that the top may be in the market for Microsoft. Definitely want to keep your eyes going forward. A lot of selling occurred on Friday. Okay, so it seems as if Microsoft is getting some stockpile coming into space. Be careful. Definitely want to acknowledge that the market may have hit a top because a lot of volume came in and we closed well off of the highs. So near-term move in Microsoft definitely seems as if the stock will make a small dip in this space. Want to keep your eyes open on where support lies for this particular stock. It might try to hold support right there around $116, but overall it can come all the way back down to $112, $111 in the future. Okay, so Microsoft stock, even though this article is speaking highly of it, the strength on a long-term time frame is still positive, but we may have actually reached the top. So just be cautious that it can hit back down at that $112 or even $108 price. You can see it's kind of overextended from this ascension line that we've seen as well. So it could come all the way back down to $104 as well. So I just want to keep you abreast of what Microsoft is doing according to the charts. It definitely seems as if some sellers are coming into the market right now. The bullishness on the monthly time frame is still being seen, but again, 112 all the way back down to 104 could be areas of support. Okay, now looking at Google, monthly time frame for Google, you can see that it did react negatively in the ending of 2018, continuing to show us the fact that Google has recovered literally almost all of the losses that it did in 2018, which is a very positive thing to see. But again, $1,200 is a resistance area in the market for Google. Looking at Google last week, you can see here that again, we're still seeing some indications of some sellers coming into the market. The market may actually have reached its climax right there, that $1,200 price. Want to keep you abreast that the market has as well saw its gains when the hedge funds managers bought Google at these very cheap prices. Okay, so right now is caution is warranted in order to see these stocks continue to move to the upside. $1,200 is the current resistance area in the market. I would like to see Google try to stay above 1150 or 1175 in order to see the continuation of higher prices. Okay, so even on Friday, yesterday, for Google stock, this market saw a lot of volume coming in, and we still closed lower than the close from the previous 2 trading days. So it tells us that there are sellers coming into the market in Google right now. 1180, even 1160 would have to be support areas in order for us to really maintain the good bullishness that we've seen in the ending of 2018. So I am expecting Google as well to move to the downside. I identified maybe 1160 all the way back down towards that $1150 price. Has to be areas of support in order for us to see a continuation of high prices at a later date. Maybe even 1120. That would be a major drop in the space for Google, but I really don't see the bullishness as this article was trying to insinuate in Google as well. So caution is warranted as well in Google stock. Take a look at Amazon. Amazon is doing a fantastic job. Recently, over the last couple of months, it has bounced off that $1,600 price for the last 2 months, including this month. The market is coming across some resistance as well. Taking a look at it on the weekly time frame, you can tell that we ended last week quite well. So we still got some upside potential to go through in Amazon. The market is very strong currently for this particular stock. It has consolidated for numerous weeks, starting the week of January 7, 2019, even all the way to the current week. The market in Amazon is being very reluctant into dropping below that $1,600 price. So the bullishness in Amazon is still there. We're still anticipating this stock to continue to move to the upside, but we are trading near a resistance area around 1737 all the way up to 1750. So keep that in mind too. So now the last one, which is Alibaba. You guys can see that a lot is not going on in the market for Alibaba stock today. It is coming across that $190 resistance area. Very good to see that it held $170 as support. Taking a look at it on the weekly time frame for Alibaba stock. Again, we're just holding consolidational trading in Alibaba. Last week was a very good week though. Continue to show us that consolidational trading area is going to continue. The current move in Alibaba is still higher prices. 170 is that support area in that consolidational area, and 190 is the resistance. So even though we're maintaining some strength coming into the market in Alibaba, understand that 190 is the area of resistance. Okay, so right now Alibaba is just holding consolidational trading. If we're not able to move higher than the close from last week, then the market is definitely transitioning over into one of lower prices, and then this can have been the top in the market for Alibaba. Okay, so keep that in mind too as we continue to go forward for Alibaba stock. Okay, so right now Alibaba is just holding consolidational trading. I went ahead and identified, I would say about 165, 170 is that support area, and the resistance is up there at 190. And now the next resistance area, if we do see higher prices, it's 184 to 190 in Alibaba stock. So I'm really not too euphoric of higher prices in Alibaba, because the time frame that we're looking at just shows us literal consolidation in this space. If we see Alibaba break above 190, then the strength definitely is coming to the market. But right now, I don't see a lot of euphoria of bullishness coming into this particular stock right now. So I'm just going to look for consolidational trading to occur in Alibaba. If we get more negative news into the market as a whole, then Alibaba will definitely come back down to 170, even $160 to ensue and to encompass that negativity. Okay. And one of the things I really don't like in Alibaba is that the volume has been on the decrease as we've seen the market try to move to the upside. So even though we got 2 more weeks for the month of March, if this volume remains light, that euphoria higher prices is definitely waning, and you want to keep that in mind too as you're going forward. So overall, there are some of these stocks, these 5 stocks here, that are still poised to move higher, but the current move doesn't instill the market wants to move higher for any of these 5 stocks. Okay, so if you're looking for a long-term move, definitely the current move is one of lower prices and weakness entering in. And if the next week upcoming continue to show us the same weakness, then the bullishness that this article is trying to insinuate for these 5 hedge funds stocks that they love would definitely not come to fruition. So right now, I would definitely, according to the price chart, it is telling us that it is not as bullish as this article is trying to insinuate, because these hedge funds had already made their profits as it was moving already up here to these particular price areas. Now, is this the time to buy these stocks? The price chart is not reflecting that for all of these 5 stocks. Okay, so keep that in mind going forward. We are anticipating a small dip at least to occur for these 5 stocks, and then if it holds support at those areas that we identified in this video, then yes, the continuation long term will continue to move higher in these particular stocks. So it's all about timing right now, and definitely since we are already trading past previous highs of 2018, definitely want to keep that out. So that's our analysis for these 5 stocks that these hedge fund managers love. Give us your thoughts, give us your opinion, and as well, don't forget to go ahead and check out HueFinancial.com. Make sure you all maintain your profitability, and I will talk to you all later.